Hello again, Kathy.
How are you, Angela?
Doing just dandy.
Love it, love it. As we work our way through these questions, as the Alberta Women for Independence TPA, third-party advertiser, we decided that it would be a great opportunity to take Albertans through all of these referendum questions in a way that we kind of pick them apart, put it back together, figure out what they say, figure out what they don't say. And in order to do this publicly, forward facing, and at the end, encourage you to vote one way or the other, we needed to register as a third party advertiser with Elections Alberta to make it all legit and legal and all the rest. Kind of fun. We'll see how that goes because there are some on the other side who don't seem to think they need to do that. So I'm not really sure how the legalities of all this are going to wash out on the other end of this referendum. But here we are. We're doing what we can, and we are going to get this message out one way or another, which is really cool. Really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So far, we have covered 4 questions out of 10.
Yes. And there are, out of 10. So in October 19th to be precise, we will be asked to go to the voting station, I guess, where we're going to have the opportunity to vote on 10 different referendum questions. And one thing, Kathy, that we're hearing is some folks who are, supporters of Alberta independence are saying, I'm only going to vote on question 10, which addresses the issue of Alberta independence. And our response is, please don't do that. Please vote on all of the questions for a couple of different reasons. I heard someone say that this referendum may not be legally binding, but it is socially binding, meaning this is the opportunity for Albertans to come together and to say we need and we want and we demand meaningful change.
Yeah.
And if you are a supporter of Alberta independence like we are, then we hope that that change is that we become our own independent sovereign nation. But if that is not the case, then our hope is that we will still see some meaningful changes made that are being addressed by these referendum questions.
Well, exactly. It sends a message. These all 10 of these questions send a message to both Alberta government and the federal government, both Edmonton and Ottawa. And the other thing to remember as well is until those ballots are counted, we don't know what the outcome is going to be of the referendum to have a referendum.
Right.
We don't. So if we don't pass that one, and somebody decided they didn't want to do anything about all the rest, well, then we're no further ahead. We're no further ahead at all. Yeah. So we need to answer all of them. We need to answer all of them. And it's more when we get to the constitutional ones, those ones are a little bit more of a challenge because just a little hint, since those are coming up next, is they're probably not going to matter. So, but you know what? It takes you 1 second to check a box. And so we're just going to ask you to do that. Anyways, question 5.
Question 5.
Do you support the government of Alberta introducing a law requiring individuals to provide proof of citizenship, such as a passport, birth certificate, or citizenship card, to vote in an Alberta provincial election?
So the question is, what are we required to provide right now?
Not much. Not much. When you show up, you can bring the voter card that's in the mail, if you got one, or your ID. And that's it.
Which is like a driver's license.
A driver's license, yeah. But there's no, obviously, there's no having to prove anything if we have it on a referendum question about your status as a Canadian citizen to vote in a Canadian election.
Yep. Exactly. And, like the last provincial elections, that would have been 2023. Okay. So again, talking about my husband, because he's a newcomer to Canada, relatively newcomer to Canada, and he has his permanent residency. He received a voter card in the mail. He is not a citizen. Yeah. So he did not vote, but the system is not perfect.
Right.
How, I mean, like mistakes get made, and clearly, I think it might have been when he got his driver's license that the wrong box was ticked or something, that he was a citizen when he's not. I don't know. But clearly, if we had to provide proof of citizenship, like a passport, a birth certificate, a citizenship card, that would take care of those potential mistakes that are inevitably going to be made because there's humans involved.
Correct. Correct. Which also leads to some people are having a hard time with the changes that were made to our driver's licenses. Right? Showing whether you are a Canadian citizen or not.
Yeah.
Well, if your driver's license has it declared on there, whether you are or not, who cares? That's a good thing, because then, I mean, there's a lot of concern, and it's a valid concern, that the feds are going to try and flood the province with a bunch of people who are not Canadian citizens to go and vote on these referendum questions. I mean, it's not outside the realm of possibility. But if they have to have something that proves they are a Canadian citizen and have been living in Alberta for a certain period of time before they can vote on something that affects us, then where's the downside on that? How is that wrong?
Yeah, I don't see a downside. I don't see a downside at all. And yeah. It's something, it protects the integrity of the system, right?
100%.
And this is something that I will say, is that this is something that it's an easy fix, and it has to be done. I believe it has to be done.
It does, at every level, like whether it's a federal or provincial or municipal.
Yeah.
It is something that has to be done. And in fact, I would say that this needs to be something that is constitutionally enshrined in the Republic of Alberta. It's crazy to me we're even talking about it.
It is kind of crazy. It is kind of crazy, because the whole point of voting is because you have skin in the game. You are a citizen.
That's right.
And so therefore, you have the right to be able to speak to the future or the direction. And it should not be somebody who is only here temporarily or who does not have that same skin in the game.
That's it. That's it. I had a friend of mine call Elections Alberta in one of the, I think it was the provincial one, call Elections Alberta and says, well, what happens if you know of someone who is not a citizen and they went and voted? And they would not answer the question. All they did was answer the question with the question. Well, do you know someone who did? So there's not even, it doesn't sound to me like there's even protocol as to what to do.
I would think there's got to be something in like the elections regulations or whatever they call the act and the law.
Yeah. There's, I would hope so.
Interesting.
Yeah. I've never gone down that rabbit trail to pull it up and read it through. Considering what goes on around here, it's not a surprising answer that's what would happen. But it is so troubling that we're even talking about this.
Yeah, that we have to. But it is what it is. And I totally support this question. Like hands down.
100%.
Yes. There's nothing wrong with saying we're going to protect our voting system by making sure it's only citizens.
Correct. There's nothing controversial about it whatsoever. So on October 19th, check the box yes.
Question 5.
On question 5. See you in the next one.
Alrighty.